Greetings, Jess Romero here. I hope everybody had a good week. So for this week's video, for the ProQuest assignment and researching the dissertations. So I initially what I did is I wanted to focus on things that were related to my topic or field of interest that I hope to write for my dissertation itself. And so I chose certain keywords such as the United States, America, war, interrelations, politics, geopolitics, in international relations, Iraq. And what I came up was a pretty good list of different sources, different dissertations. But for this video, as it says, I focused on two. The first being from a person named Sahika Tokail from who wrote their dissertation for their degree at Marmara University in Turkey, and their dissertation was titled "Turkey's Relations with the United States on Iraq in the Post-Cold War Era Period from 1990 to 2003 and the Second Iraq War." I found that to be very interesting because that person spoke a lot about primarily about Turkey as well as America's relations for for a good period of time post the collapse of the Soviet Union. The second one was from a person by the name of Baysel Basar, also who wrote for Marmara University in Turkey for their dissertation titled "Persuasion by Fear: Securitization of Iraq by the U.S. Administration between 2001 and 2003." I found that one to be incredibly fascinating, and mainly because what Basar's dissertation did is it focused on the rhetoric, the language, the speeches that led up to the invasion of Iraq in March of 2003. So both of these dissertations did a marvelous job in their sources. They sought various different government sources from government officials, various books and political um, um, articles, periodicals, interviews that they each did, as well as government archives. One even cited congressional official hearings, DoD documents, and public disclosures to the public. Um, and so I found that both of them did a good job. I think the methodology of both was very well. However, I really like Basil's methodology and the way that this individual presented their findings, their dissertation, their historical analysis of the the persuasion by fear of the securitization of Iraq by the U.S. administration was that they, as I said earlier, utilized the various different speeches in public statements, declarations, government hearings, United Nations hearings, the news, interviews, whatever, leading up to the United States invasion of Iraq. And what Basil did was took all that information, broke it down, and created various different graphs over time, over the from 2002, well, really from 2001, from September 2001 on. But as you could tell, as the way they broke it down is they broke it down by month and by year leading up to the war in Iraq. And you could see a massive incline or increase in American rhetoric against Saddam Hussein from September 2002 until the invasion in March 2003. And the main citations of weapons of mass destruction, Saddam was a threat, helping terrorism, giving weapons to terrorists, Saddam imminently going to attack the United, things of that nature. And so he broke down, showing us a graph of the rhetoric and the language used, not just in general, but for each specific individual perspective and various topic of language used by the Bush administration, as well as for Tokey's dissertation. I found it to be very interesting, very insightful, in that the basis for Tokey's dissertation speaks about the interrelations between America and Turkey's um, government relations, mainly the decline of it, beginning with the fall of the Soviet Union, what it was like during the 90s with regard to Iraq as a major hotbed and the question of the Kurdish population. And so I found that these sources will be pretty beneficial for me towards my writing my dissertation in the future, as well as the various different other dissertations that came up. I found that I did have to look through a few of them. Some of them had quite a bit of information that I found to be very insightful, such as these two, and others had maybe less, and some had maybe very little. And so I think there's a lot of information that this this search offers anybody who's looking for various different sources to cite, not just in what other people have written in their dissertation, but mainly also in their sources for the historiography purpose of ascertaining, gleaning a historical record of different work already done by other people, which I found to be very fascinating. So I think this is a very um, beneficial assignment and process to know how to look for these various different dissertations and then to glean their methodology, their sources, look at their conclusion, how they broke down the analysis of the information that they put, especially as historians. So overall, I found this to be quite uh, edifying and beneficial of an assignment. Okay, Justin Merrill signing off. Take care. Have a good weekend. God bless.